Pick out the picture that doesn't belong.
I haven't met that many happy people in my life. How do they act?
Ordinary life is pretty complex stuff.
You write the music, you let me worry about the business, and we're all gonna get rich and happy and famous.
I haven't met that many happy people.
Rich and happy and famous.
How do they act? I haven't met that many people.
There she blows.
First, why did I delete 1,700 videos? DMA filed a lawsuit against me. It would be the amount of money that I made on those videos. And the answer is around $500 per video. So one of them made $750 and the other two, I don't have access to the data, but I know it was less.
So 3 videos, $500 each. We'll just do it. Each video is $500, okay?
Now, first, why did I delete 1,700 videos? First, why did I delete 1,700 videos? So because of that, and because of the economics of this lawsuit, I did not take any chances. So I deleted a massive amount of
evidence.
Not because they weren't fair use, but because it would be too expensive to fight 15 lawsuits at once. Keep in mind that just fighting this one lawsuit is going to be extremely expensive. I already spent $12,000 on this and we're just getting started. So I will need your help, but I'll talk about that later on in the video.
Don't even worry about it, bro. I got your back. You still have $838,000. You're good. That's what you mean by help, right? You wanted me to do the economics on it and give you the economic number?
So if he were to find plenty more frauditors that are willing to sue me, I could have been bankrupt. So I had no choice. I made the difficult decision to delete 1,700 videos. And to this day, I don't regret it because at least the problem was contained.
Sorry, this guy uses weird words. He said contained and problem when really he meant that there is no more problem because I got rid of all the 1,700 pieces of evidence and I still get to retain the $850,000 that I made off those 1,700 videos that don't exist anymore. That's what he meant to say.
Now I can face it head on. Now, the other thing that you might wonder is why did I not talk about this for several months?
No, I think we can understand that part. But carry on. Gaslight the night.
Well, the reason why is because I listened to my attorney.
Well, that's good to hear. At least you listened to him. Why did you stop listening to him and make this video? Because there's no way any attorney watched this video before you posted it and said, that's a good idea. At least not one you paid money to, or one that you think is going to do you any good.
When I heard about this, I hired an attorney. I'll talk about it later on in the video. and I was advised not to talk about it. And
What the fuck? Let's hear this statement one more time. Say that one more time.
when I heard about this, I hired an attorney. I'll talk about it later on in the video. And I was advised not to talk about it. And I'll talk about it later on in the video. And I was advised not to talk about it. And
Okay. Carry on.
unlike frauditors, I don't believe I'm more intelligent than my attorney. So I will take their advice very seriously.
So I thought to myself, is this guy really like this? Like, does he really think people are as dumb as he's treating them right now by saying the words that he is? And the answer is yes. I looked at his channel and watched some of his videos. Dude, his commenters are among the dumbest of commenters. Like, they really have no idea like about anything that's going on in the world. But they all share two things in common. They hate DMA and they use the term frauditor way too much. And speaking of that term, okay, fraud is deception for gain. At its core, fraud is the intentional act of lying or concealing a material fact to induce another person or organization to act to their detriment, usually for financial gain. Okay, we already know he's making money on these videos, right? And I'm going to show you a video he made like 3 years ago, and there's no denying. You cannot deny the material fact of what this video is, and he just absolutely 100% lies about it. So, anyways, this
Miss Chad. Chad. I live here.
Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, we have a frauditor by the name of the Batusai. It's actually a really large channel with 200,000 subscribers. And I had no idea about who he was until today. But he's a frauditor like every single one of them.
Okay, so he read the Batusai, went to his channel, saw the 200 subscribers, and then stopped reading? No. It says, I am a video journalist, a civil rights activist who records and covers general police encounters with the help from my attorney. And then if he were to click more, which I doubt, well, no, he probably did. The very next line reads, with the help from my attorney, whoever, we filed a lawsuit in federal court called Turner v. Driver. The case establishes the right to film police and government officials in the course of their duties on February 16th, 2017. Now let's hear what the frauditor troll has to say.
Want to stop, so then he got arrested. So enjoy the video.
What's your name, sir?
I'm sorry?
And what's your name?
I'd rather not give it at this point. I'm just let them know that I'm a journalist gathering content for a story.
Here we go again with that journalist nonsense. Obviously, you're not a journalist and you're not gathering content for a story. You're gathering content for a shitty YouTube video. Just tell the truth for once.
A few moments later.
I'm gonna be standing outside. I'll wait for an officer if he wishes to speak with me. Just a quick question. Do you know if there's an officer coming or?
Well, right now
They're on a traffic stop? Okay. Thank you. So right now I have like my this camera here that I'm live streaming is sitting right on top of my DSLR camera. And I'm gonna switch this camera around so you guys can see. I'm also recording on my body cam so you guys can see.
The question is why? Why do all this nonsense? And the answer is obvious: money. This guy has a massive channel and he makes all kinds of dough harassing the police. So that's why he does it.
No, see, Philip Turner did this to make relevant case law, so we all have the right to do this, right? Which he actually successfully did, Turner v. Driver. You do this for money, bro. You steal other people's content for money. That's your gig. Also, you're probably unaware of this, but it costs money to get to a higher court like that. He spent most of his money going to court, right? And DMA is broke, like you said, right? Well, that's probably because all the cost and time and equipment that he's put into what he does, right? Because getting out there, waking up every day, driving your truck, paying for gas, paying for a video camera, this is all stuff that you do when you create something, which you're not aware of. You just take it. So the young man in the video, oh, at the time, young man, Turner, is Mr. Turner, Philip Turner from Turner versus Driver. It's a decision the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit affirmed that there's a First Amendment right to record the police. One of the officers involved was criminally indicted, blah, blah, blah. But this was huge, and Philip Turner is a huge fucking name. In fact, not only is it not bullshit or illegitimate like he claims, but it is actually as legit as you can possibly get. The Fifth Circuit said going forward that the court agreed with the district court that there's no existing precedent placed on the First Amendment constitutional question. It is now beyond debate. That is a First Amendment right to film police in the course of their duties and inside police cars and police stations. So, despite successfully creating United States of America case law, Supreme Court of Appeals case law, this guy categorizes what we just saw as harassing the police for boatloads of dough instead of what it really is, a constitutionally protected activity, First Amendment right. Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals affirms that's what it is, not harassment for a boatload of dough. Anyways, I just wanted to show you how deceiving this guy is, and that was like a video that's 3 years old. He's had 3 years to perfect his art, but it's he's gonna keep putting his foot in his mouth. So I'm just gonna keep calling it out.
Look at the docket. So far, there has been 27 entries, and the last entry is about me getting served by email. The judge allowed it after the lawyer did a request to serve me by email since he was unable to serve me in person. So the judge allowed it. That's perfectly fine. So I have officially been served. I have 3 weeks to respond. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But now we will take a look at the complaint. So I am getting sued for copyright infringement, misrepresentation, and declaration of copyright infringement.
Misrepresentation will be the easiest to prove, but how much you want to bet this guy doesn't think that's the case?
So the misrepresentation part is going to be the easiest to toss out. That is completely laughable. I will be able to prove that in seconds, just with a couple screenshots that I did not commit misrepresentation.
And you can tell this guy didn't talk to a lawyer because, again, no lawyer would ever authorize him or back him on this video because it's horrible. And number two, he uses words like commit and fight and defend. Those are all things in a criminal case. You know what I mean? You didn't commit anything, right? There's no guilty or not guilty in a civil suit. It's just liability. You're either liable or you're not. You know what I mean? It's not like a crime where you can you're innocent until proven guilty and you have to fight, to get. It's not like that. Like you either whatever happened is undisputed. You did it. It's there. All the evidence is there. It is what it is. It's just whether or not the courts decide if you're liable for it or not.
I'm not going to get into my
I don't think he gets that.
But trust me, that is not concerning whatsoever.
Remember now, this guy's like the backwards man. He can walk backwards as fast as you can. Everything he says is ass backwards. So what he just said right there tells me that that's the one he's worried about the most. But anyhow, what strategy? You don't have a strategy to defend yourself. You just take your position and state it. That's all you do. This next thing he says we're going to spend a lot of time looking at because it's really crazy.
Now, the copyright infringement, he is suing us for 3 videos. And my videos are always fair use because I am criticizing him. And of course, to show the event that happened, I have to use some of his videos so I can show people what I'm talking about.
That's what all the unregistered sex offenders say about the videos that they use. So don't give us that malarkey.
Now I'm doing commentary, I'm adding memes, and I'm criticizing his behavior during his audits.
Okay, so much just happened right there. But just to hear, while it's fresh in our heads, you heard him call them audits, right? And not fraud it. You heard him actually refer to it during his audits. Right, you heard him say that during his audits. Just remember that, and we'll start over.
Now, the copyright infringement, he is suing us for 3 videos. And my videos are always fair use. Because
of this thing.
Because I am criticizing him, and of course, to show the event that happened.
Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, because I want this to be fair use. So I'm going to criticize your big fat ass, you son of a bitch. All right, sex offender, unregistered sex offender, Josh. Don't shit in your diaper, unregistered sex offender, Jonathan.
I have to use some of his videos so I can show people what I'm talking about.
He said, because I'm criticizing him, which is just hilarious. That's the first thing that he said, but criticizing him, right? And later he says criticizing his behavior, right? So that's two totally different things, dude.
So I can show people what I'm talking about. Now I'm doing commentary, I'm adding memes, and I'm criticizing his behavior during his audits.
Okay, let me just break that down just the way I think about it. That is so disingenuous that I feel like slapping somebody because of how disingenuous those statements are. Number one, criticizing his behavior. He stands behind a camera. That's his entire behavior. Speech is not part of behavior. Behavior is your like reaction to the things around you and things that you do in reaction to the environment you're in and blah blah blah, right? He stands behind a camera and talks in every single video. You don't need a clip of his newest video to know that he's going to be standing behind the camera saying some snarky shit to some people that are standing in front of his camera, like standing on the other side of his camera. You know what I mean? Every single video of his is the same. Every audit video like that is the same. They stand behind a camera and they talk. Let's say, for instance, I was wrong, right? So let's look at the criticisms that he says, because he said criticize him or criticize his behavior. Criticizing his behavior in that specific video at the time is fine. You know what I'm saying? But half of the stuff he says is just low blows, dude, about his personal character and, you know, his home life and shit. See, for example, the beginning of this video when he was talking about porn, why did he specifically pick all the instances and clip them exactly to where he says the word porn? Because if he was criticizing his behavior, it would be standing there speaking at a public meeting, right? Because that's all he's doing is standing there. It's his words that he decided to cut the video up on and the content he decided to use. And that's like another reason that he's so disingenuous right now. I just want to fucking smack a motherfucker. I'm not hating on cutting videos up because that's what I do, but I'm just saying the decisions and the exact places that you decide to do that give an insight into what your goal is and what your purpose is, right? And if you cut up every word of the word porn and put them all together, then you want to, you know what I mean? You want to, what's it called? Represent that this whole speech was about porn, when really it was about the First Amendment and the, you know, damages, you know, a bunch of other relevant stuff, you know what I mean? But his decision to use those words gives an insight into how he's thinking. That's all I'm trying to say. Also, too, fraud is a criminal act, right? Committing fraud. So calling him a frauditor is basically, like, here, for example, let me give you an example. I'm going to call you sex offender for the rest of this video. The sex offender frauditor troll, or sex offender Josh, or sex offender Jonathan, whatever your name is. This sex offender right here
gets off on the word porn, so
Jonathan.
he did this.
Heard of me watching porn in the library? I have, however, said that the benefit of banning it doesn't outweigh the risk to pornography in a library. Banning pornography, the benefits don't outweigh the risk.
It would probably take him $10,000, $15,000 to put down as a retainer if he wants to fight this. It'd take a couple years, all said and done, he might pay $100,000. So he's going to spend more money defending. He's going to spend more money defending this one video than he's made on his entire channel since he started it, basically.
Does that look like the face of somebody who's bragging? That looks like the face of somebody who's sad. It looks like he was like felt pain when he said that. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like. Anyway, whatever, it doesn't matter. The misrepresentation isn't in his misunderstanding of DMA's reaction right there, and his little, oh man, I can't believe how dumb this guy is. You know what I mean? That's not a celebration, number one. But the misrepresentation comes in the words that he wrote below. Bragging is excessively proud and boastful talk about one's achievements or possessions. Now, this was neither excessively anything. It was as concise and as tight as you could get of an explanation, and it wasn't about his achievements or possessions. It was about something that's going to happen as a side effect of a lawsuit in the future about somebody else. It literally does not fit any of the definition of bragging whatsoever. Like fees that somebody else is going to have to pay in the future because of a lawsuit that you have now is not a achievement. An achievement is when you've reached something, right? Winning the lawsuit would have been an achievement, or will be, years to come. But he's just foreshadowing what's coming in the years to come. And his achievement wouldn't be the fees that somebody else has to pay. It would be winning the lawsuit, right? Or getting paid. He's talking about the side effects, the negative side effects that somebody else will have in the future. That is in no way excessively talking or boasting about what you've achieved in the present. It literally is just a misrepresentation. Here, I'll give you a more concrete example of the misrepresentation that I so talk about. This picture of DMA is the thumbnail for the video that I'm diagnosing or whatever, talking shit about. That he put this on his. So his thumbnail is a picture of DMA, first of all. Now, here's DMA's page, right? Or what his, videos page. So let's say there's one of those, newbie subscribers that is in a different genre, right? And they're looking for the DMA video that they saw last time, and they come across this thumbnail. They're going to click on it thinking it's DMA, and then they're going to get fraud alert troll. This is misrepresentation right here. This is the very, very picture of the title of the video that we're talking about, right? And watch, whenever I put it over here, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, it looks like it fits right in with his actual content, because it even uses red letters, just like his content does the one right below it. It's misrepresentation. It's to get those extra clicks to click on it and see fraudster trolls instead of DMAs, and that's where you fuck up. That's where you fucked up, buddy. You are going to be held liable for misrepresenting, bro. You are a giant misrepresentation.
It's also worth mentioning that one of these 3 videos is past the statute of limitation, as it was recorded and he knew about it.
And this part is extra special. First off, he's going to just show you something that he typed out on Notepad, or something that a little bit more fancy than Notepad, right? And then later on, he's going to call it proof.
February 2022. So there's definitely an issue there when it comes to statutes of limitations. The other video are within the 3-year period. They were late 2022 and early 2023. So there's definitely an issue there when it comes to statutes of limitations. The other video are within the 3-year period. They were late 2022 and early 2023. So now I will tell you why I believe these actions are anti-free speech retaliation lawsuits. I got sued in June. I was the first one. And shortly after, many members of my community started getting these lawsuits. There is Helping Hands versus Gurkha. There is Cordova versus Doe. And there's also Liberty Troll LLC versus Reed. So these all involve anti-First Amendment auditors. And I want to remind you, we only call out the bad ones, who are getting sued because they are calling out First Amendment auditors. Now, there are other channels that react and use First Amendment auditor content, but they agree with them. Those channels are not getting sued, even though they are committing the exact same content theft.
Did he just finger quote content theft? Does he not know what content and theft mean whenever the word content is before the word theft, and then like there's a period and it creates a sentence? Does he not understand that?
These auditors are accusing us of committing. And in some cases, they are providing way less commentary. Let me show you a couple of these examples.
This is super important, right? I mean, I know you guys, some of you guys are pretty sharp or whatever, but this is just for anybody who's just, halfway listening. But he just said, some of them provide way less commentary. Let me show you some examples. Okay, so what we're looking for him to show us is examples of less commentary.
They are providing way less commentary. Let me show you a couple of these examples. So let me show you this example. This guy is reacting to videos from Denver Metro Audits. You can see here that it's the exact same video that Denver Metro Audits has on his channel. He's not getting sued. Why? Because he agrees with him. And let me give you another example. You have this content creator, News Now Ninja, who took the same video that I got sued for. He put way less commentary. He only interjected once besides the intro and the outro, and he's not getting sued. Why? Because he is agreeing with Denver Metro Audits. He is agreeing with First Amendment auditors. Therefore, he will not get sued.
Let us all recap what he just said. If you agree with the law and follow the law, you won't get sued as if you broke the law, right? If you follow the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution and do your constitutionally protected activity, you won't get sued. Yes, I agree with that 100%.
Even though he is not transforming the video at all. In this case, he's actually cannibalizing the views from Denver Metro Audit because they are in the same genre. You see, my channel is a different viewpoint on these videos.
Once again, this guy is just insanely... He doesn't even know what he's saying. Like, he just defeated his own argument. He said that he's a different viewpoint on these videos. These videos, right? How can you have... If you have two different viewpoints on the same thing, you're in the same genre. You just have different viewpoints.
It's not the same genre. We don't have the same audience. I'm not hurting their views because people come to me for my commentary. They want to see my analysis on this situation, and they want to hear the criticism.
There's no way he really believes that. I can't believe that he actually believes the shit he just said. But you know what? Did you guys forget that we were listening for him to give us examples of commentary? And we never heard any commentary but his own voice? This dude is slick, bro.
They are providing way less commentary. Let me show you a couple of these examples. So let me show you this.
Yeah, dude, this guy is a straight clown, bro. And then he just said, what was the last thing he said about, shit? Different genres. Okay, here we go. Start from the tap. Very first thing that should stick out like a sore asshole. I mean, thumb. I mean, thumb in your asshole. I mean, auditors. They're auditors. You heard him say First Amendment auditors, blah, blah, blah. He is a frauditor. Literally the same word with an F in front of it. Okay, so I'm going to use his own delusional reasoning to combat his own argument or position, right? He said that people come for his commentary, right? So the genre is personal to you, to the person. Every single bit of his content that DMA is suing for is DMA. None of it is him, right? I could win this argument in court. You created nothing. You didn't even create the sound of your own voice that you think people are coming to listen to you for, or that transforms it into your content just because it's your vocal cords. Your parents created that. Somebody else created that chair you're sitting in. Somebody else created those glasses you're wearing. Somebody else sewed and created that shirt you're wearing. Somebody else created all the programs that you're running on your computer. Everybody put time into everything that you're doing to create those things that you're using, wearing, and exploiting. Yeah. Everybody else, nothing that you've created in anything that we can see or hear from you created. None of it. Right. Well, when DMA goes out with his video camera and records something and does something and, talks to people and whatever, he's creating a content, right? A digital recording, an actual record of history, right? And then putting it on the internet for people to view. That's a creation. It wouldn't have existed without him. All the stuff that you're doing, wearing, sitting on, clicking on, whatever, browsing, all this would exist without you. In fact, well, okay, I might be wrong. There's one thing that you've created, and that's this video with you in the corner, and the video that I'm viewing, you created. But here's the problem. You misrepresented it by putting a picture of DMA on the front of it and then publishing it that way. So now when people click on it, this thing that you've created is going to be misrepresented by DMA's face, because none of this is your creation, right? This video that you put together of you browsing your computer and the camera on yourself, that's a creation, but you've misrepresented it by advertising it as something that DMA did with the same letters and his face. Why would you do that? So if you go by that, if you think people are genred by the fact that they go to somebody, then if you're using all DMA's video of his own personal experiences, of his own personal day throughout the seconds and minutes that he uses and walks around and videotapes, then you're using his content, right? It's his content that he created that okay, check it out. He is a content creator. Frauditor Troll is a content cultivator. Right? He just takes it from other people and makes it his own, or tries to.
So let's take a look at the timeline of events, because this is very important. In 2022, DMA's videos were published.
Super duper efficient looking timeline, bro. That'll win you boatloads of cash. He just typed this shit out, dude. And he's later going to call this proof of something, or proof.
The issue. Why are these auditors filing lawsuits and spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers if the only upside is $1,500?
Oh God, please let me answer that. you answered that already in this video. You said you made $500 a piece off those 3 videos, right? And you deleted 1,700 videos in the course of less than 2 years. Dude, that is 4.6 videos a day. No matter how hard one of these hardworking auditors goes out there with their video camera and drives their own truck and uses their own gas and, you know, uses their own money, and no matter how hard they try, they could never ever, they couldn't even film 4 videos in a day, but let alone upload them and get paid for them, right? You deleted 1,700 videos, bro. Like, even if they tried as hard as they possibly could, they couldn't produce half of that. But you just get to sit in the air conditioning and just click on your mouse and then get all this badass footage from all these different people, right, that actually went out there and did the work. No, that is why they're doing this. So in the future, there's nobody like you to you know, siphon off that or leech off that or steal from them. You know what I mean? This does not happen in the future. No matter how much money it costs now, it's going to be thousands more in the future. Which again, I think your idea of the only thing that they can regain or recover is the $500 from those 3 videos. No. They're going to recover the time they've lost from how long it's taken before the year from starting from now until the lawsuit's done. You're on the clock, bro. That's what I think.
Well, the answer is that they are not spending tens of thousands of dollars on lawyers because they found one lawyer who is willing to work on a contingency basis. So how do I know that DMA doesn't have the funds to pay this lawyer the tens of thousands of dollars this would normally cost? It's because DMA has admitted himself multiple times that he is flat broke. He is in credit card debt. He's actively selling his condo so he can get out of credit card debt. On top of that, he has this fundraiser over here that's been going on for a couple years that is supposed to help him, I guess, not get a job and continue to do his activism. So far, he has got $900 out of a $20,000 goal. And he has said multiple times that he is completely broke. His channel doesn't make much money. And there's no way he would be able to afford an attorney upfront for this kind of lawsuit. Because once again, the economics do not make sense. You do not spend tens of thousands of dollars to get $1,500 at the end of a lawsuit.
Back, everybody.
It just
In today's
doesn't.
video, I'm doing a little bit of a face reveal, and it might be new to you because obviously it's the first time I show myself on the internet, but I wanted to do this for several reasons. And because you guys have been supporting me for all those years, I wanted to explain to you my reasoning. Now, first, let's start with my name. So I chose the alias Josh because
No, he chose the alias Josh because he runs one of these creepy body camera fucking pages where it's just all underage chicks that get arrested and drunk chicks, and it's fucking weird is what it is.
Now, I regretted choosing the name Josh after I learned about Joshua Abrams and Joshua Lanto, but that is the alias I use, and I'm probably going to use it in the near future because people have got used to it. And now, the problem with not showing your face on YouTube is that it's limiting a lot of the opportunities. Don't get me wrong, I know that there are several channels that do excessively well and got over 1 million subscribers without ever showing their face. However, in my case, it is a little bit limiting. Now, obviously, I got a lot of success by running faceless channels on YouTube. I have my main bodycam channel that's at 160,000 subscribers. My second one that's at 108. I have a third channel that's at 80-something thousand subscribers. And then, of course, there's this one.
The numbers I put up there are the numbers of videos on each channel. And this specific one right here in the top left, this one is what I call the creeper channel. I used to come across this channel back in the day when I first started looking at all this kind of body cam and shit. And it's the creepiest, dude, I call it the creeper channel. Look, check it out. So I just assumed the same thing I did in the beginning, $500 a video, added all the videos together, plus the 850,000 from the beginning, and it's 1.4 million. And that's being super generous. It's probably twice that, but that's what he's made over the exploiting the women videos and exploiting auditor videos, and then whatever he makes up the other ones. But it's probably at minimum 1.5 million, at most 3 million is what he's got. So. And I just wonder, you know, because the body cams, I mean, they're for us. They're for American citizens, the public, the general public that pays taxes. How is he getting all these body cams in Canada? You know what I mean? That's just weird. We should try to look into that. So his whole reason for showing his face is to get people on his side so he can protect his body cam channel. See, Frauditor Troll channel was only made to protect that channel, right? Because if he's trying to be funny, and look, misrepresenting again, it says, I got sued by a drunk driver and I need your help. And it's got a picture of DMA on there. I think the picture is starting to clear up why you kept your face hidden for so long. You should have kept it that way, dude, because now everybody's going to know what a unregistered sex offender looks like in real life. I guess that'll be safer for everybody, right? Just like your body cam channel, trying to help everybody out, make everybody safe, and your frauditor channel, trying to keep everybody in the know about the frauditors, man. Make sure everybody knows their behaviors to keep the public safe. Dude, you are the body cam channel where he's exploiting drunk chicks is how he makes the majority of his money, right? So the frauditor troll channel came up out of necessity to protect that, right? So he can delegitimize what auditors are doing and delegitimize the whole process, right? So he can continue to steal these body cams and to take these body cams and exploit these drunk white women, right? That's what he's doing. That's his whole goal, dude. And the frauditor channel is just helping that, you know what I mean? And he's still misrepresenting. Right now, he's doing a live right now that still has DMA's face on it, and it's just about him asking for money and shit. Like, he's misrepresenting it, and people are eating it up, dude.
With real consequences. Imagine if I were just to ignore this and pretend that none of this is happening. I could get a default judgment entered against me, and then they could put a lien on my car, a lien on my house, they could garnish my bank account, and I don't want that. I didn't do anything wrong, so I need to fight it. So the plaintiff fully understands the financial disadvantage that I'm in right now. I have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to defend myself. Meanwhile, he doesn't. And he seems to think that I'm just going to roll over.
I don't know if he spoke to an attorney. I feel like he's probably just not going to acknowledge it. He's just going to accept the default judgment. That's kind of the way it seems like it's going right now. He's just going to say, screw it. Because, I mean, he's going to have to pay. It would probably take him $10,000, $15,000 to put down as a retainer if he wants to fight this. And then, you know, after litigation and everything, you know, it's going to take a couple years. All said and done, he might pay $100,000. So he's going to spend more money defending. He's going to spend more money defending this one video than he's made on his entire channel since he started it, basically.
So you guys heard that little arrogant laugh at the end. He's extremely happy with the fact that I will have to spend tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, to defend myself against this. He's expecting me to just roll over and accept the default judgment. Well, that is not going to happen. I have 2 young daughters, I have a wife, I have family that I take care of, and I cannot allow this bully to do this to me unchallenged. So I will fight this tooth and nail. As a matter of fact, I started at day one. So as you can see from the screenshots behind me, when I first heard about this, I hired the attorney. So as you can see from the screenshots behind me, when I first heard about this, I hired the attorney Patrick Darcy in Irvine for several consultations. That was $2,000, $2,800 USD. Then a few weeks ago, I hired Stephen Vondran and I dropped a retainer of $1,500 USD, and that was 2,200 Canadian. And that was for unrelated matters. Basically, it's copyright abuse that's happening on my body cam channel that I still need to handle. But now, just today, the payment was processed for the retainer for this case. So Stephen Vondran is officially representing me in this case, and the retainer was $5,000 USD, which is 7,200 Canadian. So in total, I have spent $12,000 Canadian in the last couple months dealing with this. Unfortunately, this is how the court system works in America. It's just really unfortunate. Even though this lawsuit is worth $1,500 at most, I will have to spend tens of thousands of dollars to defend it. It is really mind-blowing, but that's the situation and that's the reality that I have to accept. And now this is where you come in, because I paid the first round, no problem. You know, I had a little bit of money set aside for situations like this, but this is going to get very expensive. And let me clarify that if it was me and DMA going toe-to-toe, I'm paying my attorney fees, he's paying his attorney fees, I wouldn't need help because he would bow out within a week. But this is an unusual situation where he found an attorney that is 1 in a billion that is willing to do this on contingency, even though there's no upside towards the end. So I know that he has underestimated me and the power of the community that we have built together. I do not back down to bullies, and neither do you guys. If you're able to help, I would really appreciate that, because what he's trying to do is squeeze me financially to a point where I just give up and do a settlement. That is not going to happen. I'm fighting this all the way to the end. So if you could help with a donation, I would really appreciate that. I set up a PayPal link where you're able to donate directly, either through PayPal or a credit card, to a point where I just give up and do a settlement. That is not going to happen. I'm fighting this all the way to the end. So if you could help with a donation, I would really appreciate that. I set up a PayPal link where you're able to donate directly, either through PayPal or a credit card. All the money is going to be used to attorney fees and other expenses that will arise from this nonsense. So I hope you guys understand. I have never asked you for a dime in 4 years that I've been on YouTube, and this is a very unusual situation. So if you're able to help financially, that would mean a lot. That would go a long way. If not, there's other ways in which you can help. You can leave a comment, you can leave a like, you can share this video. I need this to be seen by as many people as possible. And I've been pretty vague about the legal defense, and there's a reason for that. We want to keep our cards close to our chest, but my attorney, Steve Vondran, is actively working on this case. I just dropped the retainer today, and we will be fighting this all the way through. I will not settle. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please write them down below.